Thank you for joining us, Mr. White, and just talking to us about PBR. You've been involved since 2016 with the PBR, I believe, correct? Or at least Bulls since 2016.
Right, right.
Um, and you've been kind of behind, um, uh, owning Bulls and I guess getting them ready for the PBR. Was there a moment during looking for a fight that flipped the switch with you for bull riding? And I think you actually got on one. Was that true?
That's exactly what did it. We went out to Houston and we were filming an episode of Looking for a Fight, and we thought it would be funny to go out and we were talking about like little bulls or something, and our producer took us to a place where they actually had PBR bulls. So we ended up having to ride a real PBR bull, and it was obviously a one and done for me. I'll never do it again, but it is definitely what got me into owning bulls. And I want to say probably, I don't know, a few months after that, I bought my first bull.
And obviously, you're known more or less for the UFC. But what is it like to be a bull owner in the PBR? And how would you compare and contrast, I guess, the culture of being an athlete in the UFC and also being an athlete in the PBR, whether it be a bull or a rider? Um,
The
you know,
riders, the riders are some of the toughest dudes on the planet. I mean, to do that day in and day out. And I don't know if you saw last week the PBR, my bull ran and knocked the guy out. It never even made it out of the gate. So yeah, the bull business is fun for me. It's sort of a fun little hobby that I'm into. And but bull riding is legit. Those guys are tough guys.
Very cool. Well, I want to talk to you about the personalities of your Bulls. I know that you did have Twisted Steel, sadly passed away earlier this year. But what can you tell us about Dana White's Playmate? I know that it's a tough bull to ride. I think it's only been ridden once, full 8 seconds.
One time at the PBR. Yeah, he's had 12 appearances in the PBR. He's only been ridden once. So I like the nasty ones. I like the mean ones. And I like the ones that are obviously tough to ride. And he's the son of three-time PBR champion and brand honor recipient, Sweet Pros Bruiser. So he's got the lineage. He comes from a good family.
Oh, let's bring it to the UFC and PBR again. How would you compare Dana White's Playmate? Like, who would you pick in the UFC that is almost similar to Dana White's Playmate? Because obviously it's going to be in the PBR World Finals here next week.
That's a good question. Put him up there with like I guess Alex Pereira. You know, mean looking, scary, and then backs it up.
And so, essentially, in all of PBR, I mean, I know that Texas, it's been a place where we've watched the sport grow and get bigger, and the audience has gotten bigger. What's the one thing though that the public misunderstands about bull riding? I know that you like to get involved with things that you believe in. How would you look at PBR and what do you think the public misunderstands about just this whole entire concept? I know that Cole Hauser's been involved with the PBR and he's kind of said, the Bulls are athletes just as much as the folks that are riding.
And the Bulls are very well taken care of too. I mean, when Twisted Steel got hurt, I mean, Dennis Davis is my partner, and we threw the kitchen sink trying to save him and give him a much longer life than he had. But I don't know if there's any misconceptions. It's a pretty rough sport, man. It's a rough sport. You got to be a tough guy to be involved in it, and just like fighting, you got to be a little crazy to want to do it too.
Do you think bull riders are tougher than UFC fighters?
I think it's the same but different. You know what I mean? It's a different type of tough. Every time you step into the octagon, it's extremely dangerous. But the thing is with these bulls, when I rode the bull in Houston back in 15, the feet came really close to stomping me. I mean, there's so many different things that can go wrong, and you can die or get seriously injured in the PBR. So yes, it's dangerous, but that's one of the things I love about it.
I also think that most of the public, we're doing this story, and someone came up to me and they said, "Hey, Dana is down to do an interview about the PBR." Most There's a lot of people that if you're not following the PBR, maybe there's UFC fans here in Texas, maybe there's Texans who don't really know your affiliation with the PBR. Do you see this as, because obviously you were a big believer in the UFC whenever it was growing in its infancy. Do you see the PBR having maybe that same opportunity now and having a bit of an evolution?
Yeah, I think what's cool about the PBR is much like a fight. When you build a fight, there's two different sides. There's two stories. The bull themselves are part of the story, and then the rider is part of the story. And man versus beast, and for instance, Playmate is nasty. He just knocked a guy out in the gates last Saturday. Now imagine being the first guy that has to come out and climb in there and ride him. And he's only been ridden once in 12 PBR appearances. So great storylines. I love that. Just like fighting.
And it's kind of like, this person's never been knocked out or submitted. And, there's the same story with bulls. I mean, obviously, Dana White's playmate's only been ridden one time. Are you excited to see it in the PBR finals to see if it meets anyone or meets a rider that can actually, tame the beast, as you put it?
That's exactly what I love. I love it. I'm excited to see how this thing plays out. And yeah, yeah. And if somebody can ride him.
So being involved, just with the sport now, and kind of getting, I guess, your hooks into it a little bit more, being the promoter that you are, what would you like people to know just about the finals? Because, I think some people can get mixed up with different rodeo events, the NFR, but the PBR is strictly just for bull riding. What would you like people to know about the event coming up? Because it's going to be at AT&T. It always gets a big draw.
Yeah, yeah. And from what I understand, this year's World Finals will be the richest in the company's history. 3.26 million to the riders in the finals this year.
Cool. Okay, I had two non-PBR questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I know that you kind of shoot off the cuff all the time. This is generally just because we're also in the newsroom too. But I kind of wanted to talk to you about UFC right now, and a question that I wanted to pop off. President Trump has attended a ton of your events, and you've been able to grow the UFC despite politically divisive times. How do you keep politics from interfering with business opportunities, whether it be PBR or the UFC itself?
Um, my philosophy on that whole thing is this is America. You vote for whoever you want to, and he's the president of the United States. Why would you not have the sitting president of the United States or a former president of the United States welcome to one of your live events? And then as far as being political goes, I'm not very political. I'm friends with President Trump. Before he ran for president, you didn't see me running around anywhere doing anything political. And the truth be told, after COVID and all the craziness that went on then, as far as business goes, I only want to be in business with people I'm aligned with anyway, whether that be sponsors or anybody else. So, yeah, I've navigated pretty well through all the BS.
And obviously, Trump was a big supporter of the UFC, I believe, in your earlier days too. And I think the PBR could rely on an ambassador like yourself. Do you see kind of yourself in the same vein that bringing in a big name like yourself to the PBR, it helps and it provides a lot of credibility. At least whenever I read your name and PBR's name, I do think it kind of hardens what it stands for.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. It's just it's like I guess like Trump. Trump was a fan of all types of fighting, and he got the UFC early and understood it and liked it. I like bull riding. I like bulls. But I'm on the bull side. I like owning the bulls and trying to buy the nastiest, meanest bulls I can get and see if these guys can ride them. It's been fun for me.
I have one question from a photographer here who likes to watch Bill Maher, and he wants to know what that dinner was like with you, him, Kid Rock. It's kind of an interesting moment in political history to have I think the build up and then that evening, I don't know if anybody was expecting you to be there as well. How was that dinner? And can you give us any insight and what you took away from it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Actually, it was awesome, and more of that needs to happen in this country and in the world right now. To be honest with you, but um, brilliant move by Kid Rock to put that thing together. And Bill Maher came in and they immediately started talking about what they agreed with, what they did. I'm sure you already heard. He came in with a list of all the things President Trump had called him over the last, 30 plus years or whatever. And thank God he had two of them because I had Trump sign it and I had Bill Maher sign it. I got one that I'm hanging in my office. But it was a great dinner. It was a brilliant move by Kid Rock. And much respect to President Trump and Bill Maher for actually saying yes and doing it.
Well, cool. Two more here. Just know that the first 100 days have kind of elapsed with President Trump, and I know you said you've never been really big in politics, but you're somewhat adjacent to it now. How would you say the first 100 days has gone?
It's gone good. I mean, the guy is an animal. He's a hard worker. He's doing everything that he said he would do. And when you have to fix things, it gets a little rough before they get better. So the guy's only been there 100 days. This place is it's going to be a good life for everybody when his 4 years is up.
And lastly, we'll swing it back to the PBR here. Just the finals next week. Dana White's playing me. That's the only bull I understand that you'll have in the
Yes.
finals, correct?
Yep.
And so Dana, after Twisted Steel's sudden, obviously death, and obviously I know that's hard to take, but it's just Dana White's playmate, and that's it, or you have another one too, but the other
No,
one's not.
he's the only one riding. Yeah.
So do you plan on getting any more? You get in it. You plan on taking a look around and seeing if there's any bulls that are getting pretty nasty out there, and like you said, picking the ones that you like. Do you plan on
Yeah. I,
expanding
I own
your?
I own a couple more. They didn't make it to the PBR. But yeah, no, I'll definitely buy more. Yeah, I'm in.
So the PBR finals are coming up. Dana White's playmate. It's only been ridden once. How would you encapsulate that in just one word?
Yeah, it's going to depend on who ends up riding them. When you think of big title fights, this is like a big title fight, and you got to imagine if these riders are making it to the finals, it's going to be the best versus the best. That's what I love about bull riding. It's just like fighting.